their assets. They wired the money, Isaac, and they're on the way to come over here because they took the rest of the money they paid for tickets to our brothers and sisters. Our families are coming over here, and he was stressed about it because he knew there is no way we can support 8 people in America with only $60,000. It was my entire family assets. I looked at him and said, why did you do that? Why did you make them come over here? You said, it wasn't my intention, I just wanted some money because I knew that the business was not enough for me and you. So at that point I knew that's it, it's over. My dreams, my future, my vision, everything at the end of my life is just collapsing in front of my eyes. My life doesn't belong to me anymore. Because now we have a family that we have to take care of. And I'm sure that many of you were in a situation like this that you have to decide between you and your family. And I knew at that point that there is no way that I would disappoint my family. It wasn't easy. It was really hard for me to cut my ties and forget about my future in Israel, and we had to stay over here. But the problem was we didn't have enough money. 8 people, 6 brothers and sisters, my parents, everybody came. Barely speak the language. How we can do it with an ice cream truck business, and then we start looking for the opportunity. And today, when you sit over here, you are part of an opportunity that I wish that we had when we were in a situation like that. We had nothing, we were foreigners. We were foreigners in a country that we don't know, without any business experience. Chasing terror organizations for 7 years doesn't give you any business experience, I promise you. Actually, it makes you a bit edgy. And with that, we start looking at any option. And of course, you know the story. We heard about this new industry. You know, you're always looking for this thing that just happened, this momentum, this drive, this evolution of something that you know you can be part of and you can make it big. And we heard about it. It was so visible to us. There's nobody. You can be featuring products in the best shopping centers in the world. In America, right? The mecca of shopping centers. And there's nobody to be able to open a kiosk and get to touch customers that you would never have any option to do it, because to open a store in a mall, you have to have experience, credential, the brand, 2 years waiting list. And just to be able to spend $5,000 to open your kiosk, we knew it's a big opportunity. We heard about this group of Israelis out of New York that in 4 months of Christmas, they made over $200,000 in profit. Our entire family asset was $60,000. For us, it was tripling our value, and we knew that there is an option that we can not only save the family, also let them go back to Israel, proud and honored that they've been with their sons, and they made a little bit money and fortune for the family. We never thought it's going to be more than that. So, how do you do it? How do you open kiosks? You know, of course, it was so hard to get even the opportunity, because back in Houston, Texas, there was no kiosks. Even though it started in the East Coast, Houston is one of the states, the last state to get the trend, right? Texas, sorry. So we knew that we had an opportunity because the shopping centers were empty. And we went over there. I want to tell you something funny about the culture in America. We went to the leasing agent. You know, every shopping center, they have a leasing agent. If you want to lease a store or a kiosk, you go over there and you talk to her or him, and then you get a lease done, right? So we went over there, very speaking, and we talked to her about the vision. We come to her, you know, with a broken English, running her to the middle of the mall and saying, see this spot, we can make you money over here. And she was laughing at us, she was smiling at us, and we didn't know that this is the culture over here. People are polite. Because in Israel, people are not polite. They're honest. Okay, that's what we call it. There is a way to abuse honesty, just so you know. So in Israel, you know, when you go there, people tell you just in their face what they feel, what they want, you know, they look nice to you because they want to tell you that their life is not easy. And to be able to see somebody smiling to you like that, because she was polite, we thought that she's so excited about the idea. So we went out and said, she wants us on the board. For sure she wants us. She is excited about it. And of course she was just polite, said, I'll talk to you later, let me think about it. We don't do this kind of things, but we figure it out. So every day we would show up to the mall. Now in Israel, they already would know us, and their security guys would never let us go into the mall again, but every day we knock on the door. And she was smiling to us polite every day, and we got more excited. for us to get the option to open a kiosk. And with that, we knew that now we have an opportunity. Now we have the dream, we have the opportunity, we have the option to execute on it. We're convincing our parents to give us, of course, all the money, and we pay for 2 containers of helicopters from China because it was about to be Christmas. We said let's sell toys like these Israelis from New York. But we don't have a sales force. Who's going to work for us? We're broke immigrants in Houston. It's not easy. And it's not easy really to connect with the community around you. Because how you can, maybe now as you look at immigrants that come here to this country and become millionaires, like Mr. Malot said, it's inspiring, it's giving you some kind of hope and it drives you, right? But when you're a broke immigrant with no business experience, actually people kind of upset with you over here. Why do you come over here? So I knew that there is no way that we're going to be able to build a business with the local community. So what do you do then? And let me say something, because I travel the areas. I'm so happy to be with you in the field. You can't even imagine how excited I am to be in the homes, to do the wow parties with you together, to see people's reaction. Thank you for making me feel as family when I come over there. And it's just the beginning, because I'm going to do more and more and more in the field. I think there's something that I hear again and again when I go to the field, when people come to me. They don't ask about the products because it's so obvious. They don't ask about the opportunity. They know they can make money. What they ask usually is they say, Isaac, it's great. I know that many people are successful. I don't know anybody. Actually, I know many